What is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. As you guys can tell by today's video title, today we are doing the part 2 of my home flip renovation video. If you guys missed the previous episode, it was basically the whole process of how to flip a house from start to finish. We purchased this really derelict, semi-detached 3-bedroom house in the UK, and it has been a lot of work, but it's also been very rewarding, and I documented the whole thing. So if any of you guys are interested in flipping houses or home renovation projects in general, then definitely watch that video because we cover quite a lot in there. But today's video is all about the finished house, the finished product after many months of working on it. And also at the end of the house tour, I will be giving you guys a full breakdown of all the costs involved in flipping a house like this. But anyways, enough chit chat, enough rambling. I'm sure you guys want to see what the finished house tour looks like, so let's get straight into it. Welcome. So come on in, guys. First things first, we have a new front door, which is really nice. We went for like an anthracite gray composite door. But come on in into the hallway, just trying to not let the cats out. So as you come on in, the hallway has just completely transformed. We now have an actual banister, which looks so grand. Obviously, if you guys remember from the previous video how this looked, it looked pretty bad. And it was a lot of head scratching to try and get this right and figure out what we can do and how we can salvage this, because some of the banister was like missing and we were like, do we pull it all out? Do we just start from scratch, or do we try and kind of make it right and make do with what we've got? And this is what we did. So I think it looks pretty good. We just glossed it all white. And as you can see, we actually have an understore sort of cupboard for shoes. And then under here, we also have a litter tray area for the cats. And actually one of the kittens is using it right now. Then over here, we of course have the downstairs toilet. Now this downstairs toilet is very small, and we were very like limited with what we could do with it. In the end, we couldn't actually put in a sink. So what we opted for instead is this downstairs toilet sink and toilet kind of basin. The way it works is it obviously gets a cold and hot water feed to the tap, which then gets recycled into the actual cistern, and then whatever you wash your hands with, that then gets used to flush the toilet. So as we're back into the hallway now, the kitchen is right behind me. So the whole floor plan is basically very open. You can walk all around the entire house in kind of like a loop. So if you guys remember, this kitchen was literally a tragedy when we got this place. It was just so run down, so derelict, very old-fashioned, and half of the cupboards were basically falling apart. So it needed a whole re-gut and basically redo. There used to actually be a whole like wall at the top there, which at first we thought was supporting something, but it wasn't. So we just knocked that through. We got rid of the like weird porch, which actually had a door. Like there was literally a door right here to the outside. So we boarded all that up with bricks, and now we have this amazing large kitchen, which is just such a transformation. I'm so happy with it. So this kitchen is from Howden's. We went for this really nice shaker style in sage green with these really lovely brass handles. I feel like it really complements this whole space. I feel like it looks really nice with the pops of white, with this really nice counter, and this is actually a laminate counter in the style of marble. We then have an induction hob with some drawers underneath. Everything is just really nice. I kind of wish this was my kitchen. And then over here we have actually another part of the kitchen, which is really cool because we have a double oven and a microwave built in. And then over here we have a fridge and freezer. Plenty of space for everything. I absolutely love this space now. It's just a complete transformation to what it was. There's so much more room, and we've definitely made space with what we had. So as you leave the kitchen, you actually have 2 points of entry. You can enter into the hallway, or you could enter into the dining space. So this area here was actually boarded up. This was like a butler's window, and then yeah, we basically just knocked through, and now we have this really great entryway into this room, which definitely makes it feel much more spacious and like you can walk around wherever you like. So the people living here have put in a really nice table for, you know, socializing, gatherings, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's just such a nice, like, spacious room. When we first got this house, this room almost felt like it was kind of useless because the lounge is literally right through there. But actually, I think it's really nice being able to sit at this table and then look into the lounge and watch TV whilst you're having family dinner. It's also really nice that it links in with the kitchen rather than having to walk all the way around, because it just makes hosting so much easier. So in here, we only did a couple of small sort of minor improvements, such as adding in some blinds from IKEA. These are really nice. They're like harmonica style. And then we also added in all these black lighting fixtures everywhere across the house. They're all the same. I think they're from Amazon. They were really cheap. So basically every room in the house has these new blinds, these lights, and also these windowsills, which we got from Uracell. These are like plastic over sort of cap windowsills that you can just put over any kind of windowsill you have in your house. It just makes it so much easier to clean them, and also it's a really nice quick fix if you have really bad windowsills in your house and you just want an upgrade. Now over on this side of the house, we of course have the lounge behind me, and we have this really nice archway, which if you guys remember from the first video, it actually was like carved around the edges. It was very rounded, and although I do know that a lot of that style is kind of like trendy right now, I personally prefer it to be a little bit more squared off and modern. So we just knocked through it, squared it off, and I think it looks really good now. And behind me, we have the lounge. So the lounge is probably my favorite place of the whole house, and it has had the biggest transformation yet. So in here, we have a really nice flooring all throughout the downstairs, which is from Flooring Superstore in Natural Oak. I absolutely love how much light this floor brings to the whole house, as this is kind of a shaded house. We have a lot of big trees in the back garden, so any kind of light in here from the flooring, the ceiling, the walls really helps. We then have the media wall, which we basically built all from scratch. So over here we have these really nice oiled walnut panels from Nature Wall, and I absolutely love Nature Wall for literally so many different projects. We've used them a lot in the past. This media wall is actually inspired by our old house, which I absolutely loved that media wall. So if you guys haven't seen that whole transformation video, I'll link it in the eye. But yeah, as you can see, we've got a really nice TV on the wall at the perfect height for viewing, and we also have this really nice linear fireplace below it. This actually has so many different modes and different ways you can change the colors. It looks really, really cool, but personally, I just love the natural sort of wood fire color. I think this one looks the most natural, and this is actually a working fireplace, so it does produce heat as well. So as you can see over on this side of the lounge, we have the door into the hallway and also a little bit more of like the sofa area. So it really is quite a large sort of room. We actually did have to move a radiator, which wasn't here before. So this is part of like the costs of, you know, renovating a house. Sometimes radiators are in the wrong places. The radiator in this room was actually over there behind the sofa, which really wouldn't have worked that well. So we moved it over here and opted for this really nice, I think they call this a designer radiator. I don't know why, but it's like one of those tall modern ones. We actually replaced every single radiator in the house. They were all just so old. So we have new ones in the hallway, in the bathrooms, basically everywhere. But let's go upstairs. So I feel like the stairs are a huge transformation in their own right, because not only do we have this really nice railing and banister, but we also have really cool warm carpet. This was just completely covered in wood. There was literally nothing here, so this is such a big improvement. The banister was quite a lot of work, I won't lie, but yeah, it's so worth it. It looks so much better. Now over here we have a lot of new doors. All of these doors had to be replaced. We went for this really nice veneered kind of oak door from, I believe, Howden's. In here is just the water tank storage, but over here we have the first bedroom. So this is it. Again, a huge improvement. This was just so derelict. All the walls were completely stained. It had really bad moldy wallpaper in literally every single room. So although it doesn't look like much, we definitely put a lot of work into this. For example, we obviously changed the radiators again, put new windowsills in, put new windows in, the blinds. I forgot to actually say that every single window in the house has been replaced, which you guys would know from part 1. But yeah, all these windows are actually working now, and they don't have a draft coming through, so that's great. This room again is super spacious, so we managed to put like a double wardrobe and a single wardrobe right here. Lots of room for storage, and there's lots of room over here. In fact, this might actually be a side project. We might put like another media wall up here at some point, but right now we just left it as a white wall. Now onto the hallway. The hallway is, again, I mean, it doesn't look like much has changed apart from just a whole replaster, carpet in, but yeah, it's definitely a huge improvement in here. Next up we have the bathroom, which is over here. And this, oh my gosh, you guys, it is a transformation of the year in here. It was just so old. There used to be a toilet here and the cistern was like up there, and it was one of those ones that you have to pull a string to flush the toilet. I appreciate it's a little bit echoey in here, so I hope the sound isn't like really awful, but yeah, we basically retiled all this wall, put a new bathtub in, put a new shower screen in, let me show you, and it just feels so much more brighter, so much more area. Yeah. I'm just glad to see all those really awful tiles gone. All of the tile work you're seeing is done by yours truly, so it may not be perfect, but I feel like it is pretty good considering this is like my maybe third time tiling. And then also on this side, we did put in a new radiator. This is just like a really nice matte black one for towels. So this room has just literally transformed so much. I love it. So as you leave the bathroom, we're then walking over into the second largest bedroom. Now, as you can tell, this one is a lot darker in theme, and we did that deliberately because the person that's living in this room really likes it dark, so that's exactly what we delivered. So over here we managed to put in a double bed. There's still lots of space to walk around over here. In fact, the person living here might actually even put in a desk at some point. He's got his TV there and also some like figurines in the corner, which I think looks really, really cool. And then over on this side, there is also space for wardrobes, so we literally just put in exactly the same wardrobes from IKEA as the previous room, and there's so much storage space, so that's great. And now the very last room is over here. Now this one is literally like expectations versus reality. It is just filled with junk because the people moving in here are still moving in, they still haven't unpacked, so it's to be expected. But it's a really nice single bedroom, which they're probably just going to use as a spare room, to be honest. So that is the finished house tour. I really hope you guys liked seeing how far we've come with this place. It is such a transformation. I really hope you guys like it. And also I will be talking about all of the costs, and we're not going to be gatekeeping anything. So if you guys want the tea on how much doing a place like this costs, then keep watching. All right guys, so that was the finished house tour. Oh my gosh, I am just so happy that it's over. It was a long project, and it wouldn't be so bad if we didn't already have another project to kind of juggle at the same time, which is obviously our dream home build. If you've been on my channel for a little while, you probably already know that I have an ongoing series here called the Dream Build Home Series, where I'm documenting how to actually self-build your own house. So having to like juggle this project and this project at the same time has been a little bit tricky, but I'm not complaining. Now, I'm sure you guys are going to be asking a lot of questions as to like how much the property costs, the breakdown of everything. So I have everything in a nice little note that Matt has very kindly written for me. Out of the two of us, he's the one that does the finances. I'm sure you can tell. As far as the figures go, basically we spent $213,000 on the property alone, and that includes all of the like broker fees, solicitor fees, info pack, reservation fee, and also the actual purchase price, which was £202,000. And like I said, for a property that's 3-bedroom, semi-detached with a little bit of land around it, it actually is really a good price, especially in this current area. The reason why it was so cheap is because of how much work it needed, and a lot of people look at the property and probably just think, I do not have the time to take a project like this on. Whereas with us, we actually have a dedicated property rental business that's very separate from what I do on YouTube. It just made sense to basically grab the opportunity and take it on as an investment property. This is actually something that I don't often talk about on my channel, but yeah, apart from YouTube, we do also have a rental property where we have a couple of different properties that we rent out. Normally it starts off with us purchasing the property, doing it up, and basically just like seeing the potential and then making it happen. So far, we've done that same process 3 times. This is our 3rd time around, and we've definitely learned a lot of things along the way, which is why hopefully a video like this is going to help you guys out as well. So let's continue with the price breakdown of everything else. The kind of cost that we spent on flipping this house from basically a derelict state where all of the windows didn't even have seals. There was a draft coming in. The kitchen just needed complete regutting. There needed to be new pipework put in, a new boiler, basically everything. We spent around $30,000, and that's obviously not adding up things like screws and random pipes here and there, because we've just not had the time to like keep track of all that. But here is a breakdown of some of the bigger expenses that we did jot down. We spent £3,000 on a full replaster. We had tradesmen come in and do that for us. We spent £350 for paint for the whole house, £120 on all of the skirting boards being replaced downstairs, £200 for like stair parts, like the banister that we had to redo. Then we spent £800 for the carpets upstairs as well as the landing and the staircase. It was then £923 for all of the internal doors, which they all needed replacing. We spent £1,500 on doing up 2 bathrooms, so the upstairs bathroom and the little toilet downstairs. So things such as the bathtub, the shower, screen, the sink, the toilets, all of that together came to £1,500. One of the bigger costs was definitely the kitchen. It all needed gutting, so we spent £6,900 on kitchens, and that includes the washing machine, dishwasher, oven, hob, fridge, freezer, and integrated microwave. The thing about the kitchen is we did obviously manage to get the price a lot lower than most people would because we have a trade account with Howdens, because we obviously are in the like home renovation business. We then spent £3,700 on all of the external doors and windows, so we got a whole new front door and all of the windows for the whole house replaced. A fun little expense that we didn't expect was having to get a whole new boiler and all of the plumbing to go with it, so we spent £1,400 on a new boiler. We then spent a further £2,000 on all of the new copper plumbing and repositioning of radiators. So give or take, all of that pretty much came to £30,000. So the whole project from start to finish would have cost us around £243,000, but what Matt estimates for the value of the house to be now is between £300,000 to £325,000, and that's just kind of judging it based off of the current market right now of all the other houses in the area being sold, and they literally have the same floor plan. So yeah, that is basically what it takes to flip a house from start to finish. That's kind of the idea of what costs you might expect. Obviously these prices are more for like UK, because obviously I live in the UK. This is the only experience I can give you. So I hope some of you guys might have found this helpful, or even if you're just a little bit nosy, at least now you know. Please let me know what you guys think of this whole entire project. What would you have done differently? Do you guys have any tips of what you think we should do next time around? I'm always open to criticism and helpful suggestions. If you guys have any feedback at all, let me know in the comments. As I said at the start of the video, if you guys haven't seen the previous episode where I actually show you guys how we flipped this whole entire house, then definitely check that out. And as always, thank you guys so much for being here and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Mwah.